Here's a riddle from 334 BC. How do you win a battle by deliberately destroying your own formation? Alexander the Great had a problem. 22 years old, untested against Persian might, standing at the banks of the Granicus River in what's now Turkey. Across the water waited the cream of Persian cavalry, local satraps who knew this terrain, commanded by Memnon of Rhodes, a Greek mercenary general with decades of experience. Not exactly a forgiving audience. The Persians had chosen their ground perfectly. The Granicus wasn't just a river, it was a natural fortress. Steep banks on the eastern side, muddy approaches, spring flood season making the current swift and unpredictable. They'd positioned their cavalry in a single devastating line along the high ground, spears angled down like a porcupine's quills. Very welcoming. Any Macedonian trying to climb those banks would be skewered before his horse found footing. Okay, zoom out. This wasn't just about one river crossing. Alexander had staked everything on this invasion. His father Philip's assassination had left Macedon's treasury nearly empty. Greek city-states were already murmuring about rebellion. If Alexander got bogged down here, if he took heavy casualties, or worse, died in some muddy provincial skirmish, the entire Macedonian project would collapse before it began. The Persian strategy was textbook defensive warfare. Force the enemy to attack uphill, across water, into prepared positions. Make them pay for every yard. Classical military wisdom said Alexander should scout for easier crossings, maybe attempt a night flanking maneuver, or wait for the Persians to make a mistake. Sensible, safe, predictable. Here's the catch. Alexander didn't follow classical wisdom. He tore up the page. Instead, he did something that looked like tactical suicide. He ordered a frontal assault, cavalry charging directly across the river, straight into those waiting spears. But here's what made it brilliant. He deliberately broke his own formation halfway across. Think of it like this. Imagine a marching band trying to cross a stream while keeping perfect ranks. Impossible, right? Alexander turned that impossibility into a weapon. He let his cavalry formation dissolve in the water, creating a chaotic swirl of individual combats, rather than the neat, ordered clash the Persians expected. The Persian cavalry had trained, but Alexander took the ultimate risk personally. Ancient sources tell us he was among the first to hit the far bank, his distinctive armor making him a target for every Persian spear. A satrap named Mithridates rode straight at him. Another, Rhoecises, landed a blow that cracked Alexander's helmet. Close. Too close. Hold that thought. This wasn't heroic posturing. Alexander understood something crucial about leadership in fluid situations. When you're asking your men to do something that looks impossible, you can't command from the rear. His presence in the chaos didn't just inspire his troops, it forced the Persians to focus on killing him instead of coordinating their defense. The turning point came when Alexander's bodyguard, Clytus the Black, killed Mithridates just as the Persian was about to strike Alexander down. With their local commanders falling and their formation in pieces, the Persian cavalry began to waver. Once cavalry breaks in ancient warfare, the collapse is swift. These weren't professional soldiers, they were regional nobles with estates to protect and families to consider. Glorious death loses its shine when your vineyards are on the line. As gaps appeared in their line, individual Persians started calculating whether this particular fight was worth dying for. The tactical genius wasn't in the charge itself, it was in Alexander's reading of his enemy's psychology. The Persians had prepared for conventional tactics because that's what sensible commanders used. By embracing apparent chaos, Alexander turned their strength into confusion. The strategic consequences rippled across the ancient world. This single river crossing opened Asia Minor to Macedonian conquest. Persian confidence shattered. If their best cavalry couldn't stop these northerners at a prepared position, what could? Greek cities began switching sides, seeing Alexander not as a reckless boy, but as Philip's true successor. But here's the deeper mechanism at work. Alexander's gambles succeeded because he understood a fundamental truth about momentum in conflict. Sometimes the appearance of control matters more than actual control. The Persians looked organized and felt confident. Alexander looked chaotic, but created precisely the conditions he needed. Order, disguised as disorder. Modern strategists call this embracing controlled chaos, deliberately introducing uncertainty to disrupt enemy planning while maintaining your own decision-making speed. It's risky because it requires trusting your people to adapt faster than your opponent can respond. The Granicus crossing reveals something essential about leadership under pressure. When conventional wisdom offers only bad options, sometimes the answer is to rewrite the rules entirely. Alexander didn't solve the problem of crossing a defended river. He turned river crossings into something his enemies had never faced before. The question isn't whether you're strong enough to win by the existing rules. It's whether you're bold enough to change the game when those rules work against you. If this deep dive into ancient tactical genius got your strategic mind spinning, hit that like button, subscribe for more military history insights, and ring the bell so you never miss our latest analysis.